I'm Danny Brown, I'm the CEO of Myriad Real Estate Group, and today we're going to talk about tariffs. Sweet, super fun. First off, we should start with what is a tariff. Well, a tariff is a taxation on goods that are imported into the United States to try to put everything on a level playing field, right? It is very inexpensive to make and produce things in China, right? So think about the flash fashion, all of those clothes, that stuff is made in China at very, very low costs so that we can buy it super cheap here. And so you have clothing companies like, I don't know, Gap, that are more expensive because we can't have sweatshop-like conditions in the United States, have to pay higher wages. So the cost of those goods are higher, so it messes up competition, right? So extra taxes on those imported goods tries to create more of a level playing field between imported goods and what is produced in the United States. So what the administration is trying to do is sweeping tariffs across everything that is shipped into the United States, thinking that those countries, those people are the ones that are going to pay those taxes, when it's really actually going to be a taxation on the American consumer. So if you buy goods that are made in a foreign country, you're going to pay a higher price for those goods if tariffs are put into place. So why am I a realtor talking about tariffs? Well, that can have a huge impact on the housing market and the cost to build homes. So we get a lot, the United States, when I say we, the United States gets a lot of its lumber from Canada. So if we're importing Canadian lumber and we put a tariff on that, making that lumber now more expensive, who do you think is going to pay that cost? Well, it's not going to be the companies, and it's not going to be the builder. They're going to relay or place that higher burden on the consumer that's purchasing those homes. So a lot of things that we build in housing, a lot of appliances, carpeting, like all of this stuff that goes into a home is typically made somewhere else, brought into the United States. So all of those things could have taxes placed on them that now make the end product, the home, that much more expensive for the American consumer. So right now, I think that Donald Trump is the type that shoots from the hip and just says things in the moment. And so these tariffs are on again, off again, on again, off again. And so there's a lot of volatility in the market where companies, the public, other countries don't know the rules. They don't know what's going to be taking place because there's no defined set or plan. Where in the beginning, Trump had said he was going to put tariffs on everything. So now that may not be the case. The markets look at that more favorably. So there's a lot of uncertainty basically baked into the market on what's going to happen. So as of right now, housing has not been super affected yet. Meaning that if those tariffs are put into place, that the cost of housing could increase on the new construction side or for remodeling, right? Because you're having to buy materials, replacing appliances, those types of things. So if you are considering purchasing, especially new construction, now may be the time to do that to get ahead of any imposed tariffs causing those homes to be that much more expensive. The problem with most real estate are prices are sticky, right? Once prices go up, once neighbors see that another neighbor sold at a certain price, once a builder sells homes at a certain price, they're very not motivated to sell it at a lower price, right? Because they're hurting themselves. So, neighbors, like I mentioned, they see their neighbor on their street sell for a certain price. Well, it's now a competition. They think their home is better than that one, and that's what they're going to sell for as well. When it comes to builders, they're very much protecting their profit margins, and honestly, they don't want the public to know what homes really ultimately sold for, which is why they give so much in concessions and bonuses, incentives, right? If you use their lender, so they're paying a ton of your closing costs. None of that gets reported to tax records, so they're not going to be very motivated to reduce the price if tariffs don't happen, but they would be more motivated to give you incentives to purchase the property because they want to protect those sales prices. At the end of the day, I am somebody that is a huge proponent, and I've said this countless times, that you should buy a home when you feel financially ready to do it. Don't ever let someone in my field, lender field, tell you, you should buy now, buy now. Do it when you're ready and you feel most financially ready to pull that trigger. I personally think that tariffs are a lot about nothing. I don't think that we're going to see the Trump administration implement sweeping tariffs across the board. I do think that they are utilizing those as a tool to negotiate, right? So they're threatening tariffs to bring people to the table so that he can negotiate some sort of deal. Say what you will about him, whether you like him or not, doesn't really matter. I do think that he's got some really smart financial people behind him. The individual, Scott Bessent, who is running the U.S. Treasury, incredibly smart, very talented individual that's advising Trump. They just brought Bill Pulte in to run Fannie and Freddie, really intelligent, really smart. So I think he's got some really good people in his corner advising him on the financial side, and I don't think that any of those individuals want to see sweeping tariffs across the board. In the event that they do, one thing that does not get talked about very much is if tariffs do get put in place, they also want to reduce taxes, right? So yes, your cost of goods on everything could go up, but the amount that you pay in taxes would come down. So they're trying to do this shift towards taxing consumers, but decreasing taxes on the income that you bring in. So it's going to be very interesting to see how all of this plays out on if they're able to achieve the things that they want to achieve by threatening tariffs. So I'm a spectator just like you. A lot of this is just theory, and it's going to be interesting to see what takes place. By the time you watch this video, who knows what has gone on. So we're in a very volatile and crazy time. So at the end of the day, as a buyer, I wouldn't be very concerned about tariffs. I would be more concerned about doing something when you feel comfortable and the time is right for you as an individual. If you have any questions on tariffs and how it affects housing, definitely leave it in the comments below. Don't forget to give a like and subscribe, and I will see you next time.